Wednesday, December 3rd. Vlogmas day 3. It's been a long day. I woke up extremely late this morning, and I feel like that set the tone for the rest of the day. So I am looking forward to going to bed early tonight. Cross fingers. Let's give a little update on my Advent socks. I have the cuff of sock 1 done. I found these Gentle Island Knits stitch markers, and I was rooting around, so I put one of those on this one, and I will connect the striped yarn once I get done with the cuff of this one. And I think I'm about 10 rows in on this one, so I have about 10 more rows to go. I like to do 20 rounds of 2x2 ribbing for the cuff of my sock. So we'll put that right there for now. It's time to do Advents. So let me get this one together. I'll move this out of the way. Oh. I don't care. Normally I care that this falls down, but not today. I don't care. Get all of this organized. All right, so yesterday, we did clue 1 on day 1. We did clue 2. Everybody was in the lounge, I believe, when we last left them, and the color we were looking for was red, which means that Miss Scarlet should be the next door we open. So let's go to day 3 and read the story for day 3. Miss Scarlet pops a smoked salmon puff into her mouth and looks at Chef White. How delicious. Compliments to you, I assume. White performs a gracious half bow. Whether sincere or mocking, not even Scarlet can tell. Yes, thanks. It's a new recipe I've been developing. White glances around the room nervously. I plan to open my own restaurant soon. I have almost all the funds saved up, but the menu will need to be perfect. Cooking for Body Black's party of 1 doesn't offer many chances to experiment. So I like to test new recipes whenever more refined guests come to visit. Speaking of which, he asked me to entertain you for a few minutes, but we'll head into dinner soon. As the others make small talk, Professor Plum admires an antique rug centered beneath the lounge's furniture. Black thought you'd like that, White calls across the lounge. He had it brought out of storage just for tonight. Indeed, Plum murmurs. Beautiful. So it says, open the door specified at the top of this page and remove all the cards. So that is Miss Scarlet. Oh, good. It has a 3 right there. So I do have this oriented correctly. Work together to solve the puzzle. See page 6 in the game. I think I'm going to need to see page 6. This one might involve scissors. Work together, you'll need to use all the puzzle cards from that day. Cut means cut. Dash means fold. Write on cards or scrap paper as needed. You'll need character tokens to solve a few puzzles. You'll find out which ones. You'll never need to reference clue cards, the story, or the calendar to solve a puzzle. And so remember, we're solving for a color, a number, or a symbol. And symbols are usually a portion of a snowflake, shown here. All right, let's see what we can do. So I have this card that says under at the top of it, and it has a cut. And then this card that says make sure cards are over and under. So that must be a hint. They all say under on them. Okay, but there's an orange star, a green square, there's a green square here, and a red triangle here. And then on this one, we've got a yellow circle, an orange star, a yellow circle down at the bottom here, and a red triangle. So I wonder if these meet up somehow. It says to cut. All right, let's cut. Pardon my messy coffee table. But let's see. So it says make sure the cards are over and under. All right, so that doesn't look like that matches. Does it go like this, where the two, oh, they line up. So they do line up. Okay. So then does this line up? It kind of looks like it does. And then this. All right, we have some sort of a snowflake. But what does that tell me? Let's look at the hints on the back. You're solving for a symbol. All right, so this is the symbol that was supposed to form, and it's a fragment of the following snowflake on the detective board. For this on the detective board. So let me bring you back up so we can see the detective board. Here's the symbol. Here it is. This right here. It's this one right here. There's the symbol. So I need to write 4 there. So there we go. We have day 4 marked. We're ready to go for day 4 of the clue. Hopefully tomorrow. I have an early morning dentist appointment tomorrow. And I've been off with my times. My ADHD is just so wacko this week that I'm really, really, really afraid I'm gonna think my appointment is at 8:30 tomorrow when it's actually at 8. So I have reminders popping up on my phone that say, reminder, you have an 8 o'clock appointment tomorrow, not 8:30. The joys of having ADHD, yay. All right, so let's close this back up for tonight. Next up is the Twisted and Spun Advent Calendar. And so just to recap, this was day 1, and this was day 2. This was Hearth Glow and Poinsettia Bloom. So let's see what we get for day 3. It says it's a rose and cream tonal. Ooh, look at this. This is very pretty. It's a rose and cream tonal. And so, and that color, this color is Heritage Rose. It says it's Heritage Rose. Let's see if maybe that's better. Oh, that is a little better. Okay. So tomorrow I have a big day. I have doctor's appointments. We're meeting friends tomorrow evening. I'm gonna try and take you guys along with me. I've got some clip-on microphones that I've never used before, but I bought them and they are currently charging upstairs. So we'll see how that goes. Hope tomorrow's event will include alcohol. I normally don't drink very much. I prefer a good glass of wine every once in a while, but with my mast cell disease, I have to be careful of how much histamine I have. And so one of the things I've done in the past is I've used a histamine and sulfite wine filter, which works fine. Only the ones I've been using for years look like a little tea bag. Great in a non-sparkly wine, but it doesn't work so great in a sparkly wine, which at the event we're going to tomorrow, I think the only wine I can get is a sparkly wine. So I bought a Yulo. I've been looking at it for quite a long time, but I bought a Yulo to take with me. I actually have a collapsible cup in my purse that I suppose I could filter the wine into the collapsible cup and then pour it back into the little flute. We shall see. This sweater that I'm wearing is just something I got in my recent Stitch Fix. It's thin, which is nice with my perimenopause making me feel hot half the time. Hard to know how to dress appropriately. And then the cardigan I'm wearing over top of it, I believe we got that at, I want to say Marshall's. It's nothing special, but it's warm and it works well. This shawl is the Impressionist shawl by Curious Handmade. And I do not remember the yarn that I used. Oh, that's the wrong side. This is the right side. I do not remember the yarn that I used. I bought it at a local yarn shop in Hamilton, Ohio, Lambkin's Hideaway. It was all the same brand. It was a white or a cream, a gray, and a black. I'm almost positive I did not bother to do a Ravelry page for it because sorry, this is the second one I made. The first one I made, and I think I finished this in 2019, maybe 2020, maybe. I bought the yarn Christmas of 2019 for myself, and I finished it in the spring of 2020. I do recall that. I do not remember the yarn though. My apologies. And then this one I did knit on the recommended needle. And I specifically chose these colors because they're neutral, they go with everything. I wear a lot of black pants to the office and whatnot. Having something in black, gray, and white was going to be a nice staple for my wardrobe. So anyway, how is your December going? It's only the 3rd, but I'm tired today. I'm really looking forward to the fact that I have some time off coming up the next couple of days. I have a long weekend. I can't really sleep in tomorrow, but I can the rest of the weekend. Just found out today the restaurant that is next door to the bar we're going to with our friends closed earlier this year, a couple months ago, and we just found out today that they're reopening it briefly for those of us that have tickets to the event next door to be able to come and kind of hang out. And tomorrow hopefully I can bring you along with me a little bit. I'm hoping to get caught up on these 2 Advent socks this weekend with my stripes, so we'll see. But I'm not putting too much pressure on myself. It doesn't make the season enjoyable when you're putting so much pressure on yourself to try and get everything done by a specific time. you know, trying to have everything super perfect. It just doesn't work. So I'm hoping this weekend that I'll get the floors swept and mopped in here, and I'll get the tree up, and maybe even decorate the front porch and get the turkey off the front door, because there's still a turkey on the front door. That needs to come down. I asked yesterday if anybody has decorated yet. Again, I haven't edited any of the Vlogmas. I did a podcast. I recorded a podcast, my first podcast last weekend, but I was having difficulty editing it last weekend, getting the editing software to work, and it got late, and I just said, this is gonna have to wait for another day. By this weekend, I'll have some time to sit down and edit all these vlogs and put up my first podcast. And I'm not very exciting. Sorry about that. I'm gonna try to find some interesting things to do over the next month. We've got tickets to the Playhouse in the Park for, oh my gosh, A Christmas Carol. Sorry, like my brain just lost it. Full of things that are going on that we might be able to go see and do in the area. But again, I'm trying to build in pockets of downtime so that I can rest and not overdo it. And I think that's a good plan for everybody this time of year. So I've got about an hour left on, I think the title of the book is Murder at the Olympics by Lee Strauss. So Ginger Gold and her family have gone to Amsterdam for the Olympics. I think it's 1931 maybe. There's been a murder, and she's has to solve the murder. So I won't go into too much detail because I think it's like 14, 15, 16, 17 books into the series, and there's a lot that happens with the various characters. I don't want to give everything away. There's a lot of discussion about fashion in this series because Ginger is very much a fashion icon. In fact, she inherits money in the very first book. The reason she's coming from Boston to London is because her father has passed away and she has inherited the London portion of his estate. His properties in London, come to settle his estate in London, and she ends up deciding to stay. So I am going to call it a night here. Have a good evening. I'm gonna go to bed, go get my pajamas on, climb in bed, and do some knitting. And hopefully I get to sleep earlier tonight than I have in the past few nights. Cross fingers. All right. Well, that's my phrase, stay curious, my friends. And I will see you tomorrow for another day of Vlogmas.